directions on the E today. Exploratory. And I'm starting today's walk at Enmore Tynte Arms. Tinctus Curo Saracento. Tinged with Saracen's blood, I believe. So where's Enmore? Well, it's about 2 miles outside of Bridgewater on the way to the Quantocks. It has a population of 297 and it has a castle. So today's walk takes me to a temple. There isn't really a temple. It takes me to a castle. There isn't really a castle. Expectations are erroneous. Plenty of ease. Not those type. And the other thing to say about Enmore is that I've noticed it's surrounded by cults. Yes, I said cults. I certainly draw the line at saying cult. I just saw an old gentleman there and he said, oh yeah, you'd be fine. I'm not sure if he was at compos mentis, if I'm honest. A bit more Latin there. What a lovely walk. Short walk from Enmore. Welcome to the Temple of Harmony. I feel like I'm in Rome. So the Temple of Harmony, it's an 18th century ornamental building, part of the landscape grounds of Enmore, built as a decorative garden feature, designed to create scenic viewpoints and typical Georgian landscapes. So the Temple Harmony is based on the 1st century temple of Fortuna Virilis in Rome, and it was completed in 1767. So what I think I'll do now is I'll give it the harmony test. I'll sit here in quiet contemplation, listening to the birds, various noises of the countryside. I'll ignore the abattoir, and yeah, just see if I can feel the harmony. No, I'm still thinking about the pub. So in addition to the Temple of Harmony, we also have the Rotunda Mrs. Busby's Temple on the main house site here. And at the Hestercombe House and Gardens, they also have Sybil's Temple and Billy's Contemplation Temple. This place is full of temples, a rich vein of temples running through Somerset in this particular part. I haven't come across any cults yet, but you get the idea that people at a certain period in time were busy erecting their own little temples. I'd like to know who they were worshipping. I've certainly enjoyed myself at the Temple of Harmony. I feel quite refreshed for the rest of the walk. Oh, hello. Oh, well, it did say it wasn't open just yet, and now I found myself locked in. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I am as well. Oh, shit. He's padlocked it. This hasn't happened before. I did see a chap drive past in the grounds. He mustn't have seen me. I was sat up at the temple. Right, okay, so I'm stuck in the Temple of Harmony. I don't know how to get out. Oh, shit.
We apologise to the interruption of this programming. This is due to the lack of planning on Dennis's part. We will hope to rejoin you shortly once the idiot has managed to find a way out.
I just climbed the gate. Ooh, that was a close call. Right, on to Enmore Castle. Quantocks was the first area nominated for Natural Outstanding Beauty. The knob started here first. And my goodness, what a knob that is. Oh dear. Oh. Bye bye, Moley. Oh, how sad. I like moles. Welcome to Enmore Castle. I think this is as good a spot as any to just have a quick break and introduce the Four Forks. That's right, the central pillar to the cult story. Enmore is about half a mile from Four Forks, where there was a site of a Victorian scandal. This is where Reverend Samuel Starkey and his curate Reverend Henry James Prince announced to a startled congregation that he was the embodiment of the second coming of the Messiah, and from henceforth marriage should be a spiritual affair. We know where this is going, don't we? So persuasive was his arguments that he had an adoring flock. They called him the Beloved, and basically he married an elderly spinster and she died and he got all the money. So here we go. And then he moved to Suffolk, married again, had 5 daughters, got £6,000 for each one, and then there was a death in the family. He took all that back and moved back to Four Forks. There was a big 20-bedroomed house with big walls around it, and nobody knew what went on inside. So everybody was speculating, oh, what's going on in there? So it was a bit of a cult, one might think. There was a chapel, and quite strangely, there was a Turkish carpet, several armchairs covered in blue velvet, and a billiards table. Apart from that, nobody knew what was going on in there. Anyway, the prince continued. He had a few other marriages, and then someone called Agnes got pregnant and was sent away after the Beloved felt the need to truly spiritualise his wife in the form of a young virgin. All sounds a bit dodgy to me. In Four Forks, it's a cult. But it's interesting, following the vein of temples that I've already mentioned going through this part of the Quantocks and Somerset, there was all this scandal going on with a cult there, temples in all the other houses. It makes you wonder whether those people were influenced by what was going on in Four Forks, and they started to establish their own like weird sort of stuff going on. So there you have it, the Four Forks. I imagine nowadays nobody gives Four Forks whether it exists or not. It's essentially the Georgian version of I'd Quite Like a Castle. Enmore Castle, built around 1751 to 1754, designed by Gothic Revival style, and owned by the Percival family, I believe the great-grandson of the Prime Minister. Yeah, it was Spencer Percival, the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated. He was shot in the chest. I think it was for his sympathies for Napoleon and Catholic or some kind of difference in religion or something like that. Building itself is almost like a folly. It's been built as a castle. It's purely just aesthetics. It's not defending anything. It's not really a castle. Lovely area though. Look at the knob on that. Let's head back to Tynte Arms. Let's go and have a pint and I'll review the scores. have a pint of, well, I'll have the... Yes, please.
Glass or jug?
Oh, a jug. That'd be great. Ah. Ooh. Cheers. So, how about the walk and the scores today? Well, the Knob, Quantocks, is an absolutely beautiful area. It's well worth coming and walking around the Quantocks. Lots of little nice hamlets and villages to find yourself, and the views are just stunning around here. So, excellent marks for the Knob. The walk itself, well, it was a nice leisurely walk, no big hills, lovely countryside, as I've already mentioned. I did get locked in that Temple of Harmony. It didn't feel very harmonious at that point, but got myself out of that. Navigation was a bit difficult. The farmer's not cut across his field, so you have to walk round and this, that and the other. But other than that, it was a good walk. Curiosity index. Architectural optimism meets reality today. There were a few things where they weren't quite right, were they? Yeah. Interesting though, that's what makes this walk interesting. So I'm glad I've come here. Usually just drive straight through Enmore when you go to the Quantocks. So, you know, I think from a curiosity index, I think it offered quite a few curiosities. High scores. Returnability, well, I actually quite like the pub. I had a chat to the landlord. I definitely come around here. It's very accessible. They've got their own little car park over there. So, yeah, quite handy really, isn't it? So returnability, I could be back. Well, I've visited a castle that isn't a castle, a temple that isn't a temple, but I visited a pub that is a pub. Well, that was Enmore, where things look exactly what they look like until you think about it for a few seconds. Cults.